as we saw on the previous part, we kind of have a little bit problem with how the sword is placed, and because we're using different animations for a lot of things and different packages and a lot of other things. I'll show you one thing. Okay, for example, let's say I fixed my sword to look correct when I'm doing a parry, like this, but then when doing a backstab, if I can do it, come on, well, give it some time, I'll be able to, if he's not dead by then. Let's actually have him attack. I think he actually hit us there. Yeah, he died. He's missing also the death animation, keep that in mind. That's not, I already know that this happens. Okay, so you can see that the sword is actually placed wrong in this case as well. So we have two different animations where the sword should be on a different position. So the fix for that is we're going to be lerping to the correct position per animation. Okay, so first of all, let's go under our animator hook, and we're going to create a method that will allow us to handle that based on the animation. So let's collapse all of that, and we're going to do public void set weapon correction, set weapon rotation, I'd say. Then over here we need to decide if we're going to be writing this on the animator itself, or, well, I think we could just do this on, can we do this on the animation itself? Let's see, vector 3. I don't know if we can pass. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Let's try one thing. Let's open our player controller, our fantasy hero, then animation. Yeah, it's read only. Let's try this one. Add animation event. Check for combo. Yeah, apparently we can. I thought we were able to do this on the animation level. But okay, I have a better solution either way. That it will not require even the animator hook then. So we're going to go on the item actions container, and down here we're going to be saying public can backstab. Okay, public bool override controller or override weapon rotation, and we're going to be using a vector 3 weapon rotation. Then on our controller, let's collapse all of that. We can set a public void rotate weapon container. We're going to be passing the rotation we want to pass, target rotation. Then let's do this in a coroutine. Target rotation and start coroutine. So one other thing we need to know is which weapon we want to rotate. So we need to know if it's left or right. let's see. Okay, so yield return null over here. What we're doing wrong? We're doing this wrong. Okay, so we need the t value, of course, while t is less than 1. Then we need to know the transform we are going to be using. And do we have a right hook? How do we use weapon holder hook? Do we have any in here? We don't, because we have it on the inventory. Let's see. We have a weapon holder hook and a left holder hook. Is this like that? Okay, that's a mono behavior. Okay, we need to have access to these two, so let's make them public. So on the controller we're going to say inventory is left, vendor manager, left hook, inventory manager, right hook, then dot transform. Okay, then we need a start rotation, and that will be from the target transform dot local Euler angles. We already have the target rotation, then we're going to do target transform dot local Euler angles vector 3 dot lerp. Now notice that I'm doing a lerp even though this is our rotation, so maybe we should just do local rotation quaternion dot slerp quaternion Euler between start rotation and then quaternion Euler target rotation, and all that by t. Okay, so just calling this now, it will basically make our it will rotate the weapon hook, the parent of the weapon, to the rotation we actually wanted. So rotate weapon container, then let's try well, first of all, let's do a 2 dot from over here, and we're going to say 2 override weapon rotation equals from dot override weapon rotation, and 2 dot weapon rotation equals from dot weapon rotation. Okay, then whenever we are actually playing the action, for example, let's see from over here, current action. As you can see down here, we are playing the animation. Let's see if this is not null. What's the target animation then? Over here. Yeah, anyway, so if it's block and if you're mirrored, I don't remember what this is. I think that's for the block, yeah, but down here we have the animation, and we're going to say if current action dot rotate override weapon rotation, then rotate weapon container to current action dot weapon rotation current action dot is mirrored. So is mirrored will mean it's left. Now, we need to know that, well, we need to know when we are back on idle, we're going to be resetting the rotations. So let's do is interacting. Well, the easy way to do this will be to have a flag bool has rotated container, weapon container. But I'm not going to add it over here because we're going to be using the same method to reset the rotation. So I'm going to do it here. Has rotated weapon container. So when is interacting now is false. That's the two-handed. If not is interacting. That's on the X input. Let's see. This will be inside the controller. Inside our update. If not is interacting and if has rotated weapon container, start coroutine. And here's a problem. We also need to know if it was left or right. So bool was left, rotated, is left. So start coroutine, or not start coroutine, rotate weapon container to vector 3.0 and was left rotated. Has rotated weapon container then equals false. Okay, perfect. And that will actually be rotating the animation, but we kind of have one more other issue as well, because the backstab and the parry we're using are not actually part. Yeah, so I'm actually not using the parry, and the backstabber is not actually part of our animation cycle. Let's try one thing though. So let's try this and see if it works actually. So I'm just going to go on the great sword and I'm going to go and say on the first attack, it doesn't really matter which one it is, and I'm just going to give it some random rotation. Okay, will be entirely random, and we will see if it actually changes its rotation or if it resets it back to what it was. Okay. Let's select our player. Well, okay, that did nothing. That did absolutely nothing, I guess. Don't know why that is then. Okay, so let's take a look on when this is happening. So let's take a look for override weapon rotation. I'm going to put a breakpoint to this. Backstab, okay. Then let's attach that to Unity. And let's see what we get. Come on. Okay, so override weapon container is true. Rotate weapon container, current weapon rotation. Here's a random rotation. was left rotated will be set over here. Start coroutine. Okay, we don't really need that. Start rotation local lower angles, then target transform, which is hand right, which will be the correct transform. Target transform, hand right, from start rotation to target rotation. I don't know why this didn't work. But let's say we don't need the breakpoint anymore. Here's our hand right. Oh yeah, I know why I did this. That is part of the bone, so the bone is being overwritten. So we need to have this right weapon hook or right weapon holder. Let's remove that. Let's assign a right or weapon holder hook. Okay, then on the left, weapon holder hook left. Okay, so now this will be rotating because we are not using the bone, so it means on late update it's not overriding its position. And as you saw, it actually worked correct. We just need to make it be a lot more faster, so maybe something like that, and we just need to find the correct rotation for each use we are doing. So for that, I'm actually going to go on my resource manager for now, because we're going to be tailoring some values. We're going to need to find a few values, which means I'm just going to do public vector3 parry rotation, parry weapon rotation, and duplicate that. I'm going to do a backstab weapon rotation. Then on the controller, we're playing the backstab animation. Then here we're going to be saying weapon rotation. How do we call that? Rotate weapon container, settings, resource manager, backstab weapon rotation, current action is mirrored. Copy this, and then that's actually for the parry. So copy this, and over here we're going to do parry weapon rotation. Okay, so we just need to find now the correct rotations. Let's reset the rotation for the right hand. We're going to do that by doing the great sword. And for the great sword, let's see, we just need to disable the override weapon rotation. Let's just set this to 000. And even though we're only going to be using this for the parry and for the backstab, it's still useful because you might have different well, depending on the weapon you have, you might be using different values in general. So let's see. Okay, so well, okay, that looks correct, but I don't like when the weapon is on idle. So let's find Actually, let's not do anything of that. Let's just hit play and it will fix the weapon when he's sitting idle. Like that. So let's find our player controller. That's our great sword. Let's rotate it to look correct in this context. No, I'm rotating the wrong, damn it. Reset that. We need to rotate the great sword inside, not the... I think that looks correct. And I think this looks more menacing when you're seeing it from the back. That looks a little bit off. I think I like this. So, copy this. Then go on the great sword. On the prefab, then just paste the component values. Okay. So now we will have a normal attacks, which looks correct. And now when I'm going to go and parry this guy, it's going to look off. Okay. That actually doesn't look that much off. That actually doesn't look bad at all. But let's try the backstab. Don't know why you're running. I think we have another bug somewhere. Yeah, we're left on sprinting for some reason. Yeah, okay. If we take a look on our controller, we will see that we're probably... Yeah, we were sprinting and the animator was set to sprinting. More importantly. Come on. Okay, so a few things we need to fix already. We know them. You should be closer than this distance. So backstab distance, I'm going to set that to 1. Then let's see. Should be something like that. I'm going to rotate the sword, right weapon holder, to look like this. Or maybe even like this if I wanted. Okay, so that's my values I'm going to be using. Backstab and then 27.7. Of course, this is entirely, you know, in your creative judgment, how much you're going to rotate that, but that's what we need. Well, that's what we're going to do today. Okay, and there it is with the new animations. Perfect. So it's almost looking like a correct game, like an actual game. Awesome. So that's it for this part. As you saw, we fixed our animations. So you know what, we could do some more things. For example, let's try and adding a second attack on our player. Let's see. So we have, let's see, where's our attacks? Attack 1, attack 2. So I'm just going to copy paste this attack. I'm going to say attack stab. Now this is entirely, I don't need the combo. This is entirely a simple attempt to do this. I do not know if this is going to work, but we're here to test that. So I'm going to take one of the attacks from, maybe not this one, maybe one from the Slayer, from the Big Butcher. Yeah, let's try and make this into a stab animation. So the logic for that will be go on the Great Sword and change the item action to attack stab. Then I'm going to override the weapon rotation, and I think we want this to be on the opposite. So let's try 180 degrees on the X. This is just a test, by the way. Don't know if it's going to work, but it did. Well, sort of. As you can see that it rotates his hand properly. And of course there's nothing stopping us into also creating the... Yeah, there's nothing stopping us also creating the position, the local position of the hand to be on that case, to change positions. But yeah, you get the idea. You can now have a lot more control over where you parent your weapons. So that's it for this part. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, then of course consider supporting my Patreon so we can keep making all of these nice things we're making. I'll see you next time.